Train every day. No excuses, no negotiations, no conditions, no waiting for perfect weather, no waiting for motivation, no waiting for energy, no waiting for time. You train every single day. Not when you feel like it, every day. Not when conditions are right, every day. Not when people support you, every day. Because training is not a hobby. It's not an activity. It's not something you do when convenient. Training is identity. It's who you are. And who you are doesn't change based on mood. Because the day you skip is the day weakness remembers your name. You don't lack time. You never lack time. You lack standards. Everyone has the same 24 hours, the same minutes, the same seconds. But some people train, and some people make excuses. And the difference is not time. It's priority. It's standard. It's the line you draw between negotiable and non-negotiable. And you've decided. Training is non-negotiable. So time appears. Because when something is truly important, you find time. You don't find excuses. You lack discipline. That's the real problem. Not time, not energy, not resources. Discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel about it. The capacity to execute when emotion says stop. The strength to show up when every part of you wants to quit. That's what you lack. And the only way to build discipline is through daily repetition, through showing up when you don't want to, through training when training is the last thing you feel like doing. Excuses are decisions. Don't dress them up as reasons. Don't call them valid. Don't pretend they're circumstances. They're choices. You choose to skip. You choose to rest. You choose comfort over commitment. And you disguise that choice with language. I'm too tired. That's a choice. I don't have time. That's a choice. I'll go tomorrow. That's a choice. And every choice to skip is a vote for weakness. Every excuse is you deciding that comfort matters more than growth. You decided who you're becoming. Every time you skip, you vote for the weak version. Every time you show up, you vote for the strong version. And whoever gets more votes wins. So stop voting for weakness. Stop giving excuses power. Stop pretending circumstances control you. You control you. And control means showing up every day, regardless. Motivation comes and goes. That's its nature. It appears when you don't need it and disappears when you do. It shows up when you're rested and vanishes when you're tired. It arrives when things are easy and leaves when things get hard. Motivation is weather, and you don't let weather dictate your training. You don't check how you feel before you decide to show up. You show up, then you deal with how you feel. Discipline shows up every single day without asking how you feel. Without checking conditions, without needing permission from emotions. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired, doesn't care if you're busy, doesn't care if you're motivated. Discipline executes. It's the alarm that goes off at the same time. The routine that doesn't change. The standard that doesn't lower. Discipline is the part of you that doesn't negotiate with weakness. Every single day. That's the standard. Not most days. Not when you feel like it. Not when convenient. Every day. Because every day matters. Every day is either building or breaking. Every day is either progress or decay. There is no maintenance. There is no neutral. You're either getting stronger or getting weaker. And the only way to get stronger is to train every day. Training is not just the body. That's where most people stop. They think training is physical, reps and sets, weight and cardio. But training is holistic. You're training your mind every time you override the voice that says stop. You're training your will every time you push past comfort. You're training your character every time you keep your commitment to yourself. You train your mind when you focus, when you remove distractions, when you practice presence, when you control your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. Mental training is harder than physical training because the mind has more tricks, more excuses, more ways to sabotage. So you train it daily through meditation, through focus work, Through deliberate attention, you make your mind a tool, not a tyrant. You train your patience through repetition, through doing the same thing over and over without immediate reward, through trusting the process when results are invisible, through showing up when progress seems non-existent. Patience is a muscle, and like all muscles, it grows through resistance, through being tested, through being used when you'd rather quit. You train your reactions through adversity, through obstacles, through setbacks, through pain. You train yourself to respond instead of react, to stay calm instead of panic, to adapt instead of quit. Every hard session is training your ability to handle hard things. Every painful rep is training your relationship with discomfort. Every moment you want to stop but don't is training your endurance. Train when tired. That's where real discipline forms. Not when you're fresh. Not when you're rested. Not when you're full of energy. When you're exhausted. When your body begs for rest. When every part of you wants to skip. That's when training matters most. Because tired training builds different strength. The kind that doesn't disappear when energy drops. The kind that shows up exhausted and performs anyway. Train when bored. When training feels like a chore. When it's no longer exciting. When it's just routine. That's where consistency is built. Not in the exciting sessions, in the boring ones, the ones that feel like nothing special, the ones where progress is invisible. Those sessions separate who you're becoming from who you used to be, because anyone can train when excited. Warriors train when bored, train when no one is watching, when there's no audience, no witnesses, no applause, when it's just you and the work. That's where real growth hides, because training without an audience is training without ego. It's training for yourself, for your standards, for your commitment. Not for validation, not for approval, not for recognition, just for the person you're becoming. That's where growth hides. In the invisible work, in the private sessions, in the hours no one sees. Everyone sees the results, the transformation, the strength. But they don't see the training that built it. The daily grind, the boring repetition, the unsexy consistency. That's where growth actually happens. And you can't access it by training occasionally, only by training daily. Pain is feedback, not punishment, not injury, not a sign to stop. Feedback. Your body telling you it's working, it's adapting, it's changing. Pain means you're pushing boundaries, entering new territory, demanding more than you did yesterday. And that demand creates growth. So pain is not the enemy, comfort is. Pain is the signal that you're alive, that you're trying, that you're growing. It means you are changing, physically, mentally, internally. Change requires pressure, requires stress, requires resistance, and resistance creates pain. So pain is proof that you're not staying the same, proof that you're evolving, proof that you're becoming someone stronger than who you were. It means you are alive. Dead things don't feel pain. Stagnant things don't experience discomfort. Only living, growing, evolving things feel pain. So pain is vitality. It's life. It's proof that you're not just existing, you're becoming. And becoming hurts. Always. No announcements. You don't post every session. You don't update everyone on your progress. You don't announce your commitment. You don't declare your discipline. You just train, silently, consistently, without fanfare. Because training is not a performance. It's not content. It's not something you do for an audience. It's something you do for yourself. No validation needed. You don't need anyone to tell you you're doing well. You don't need encouragement. You don't need support. You validate yourself through consistency, through showing up, through keeping your word to yourself. That's the only validation that matters. Internal validation, self-respect earned through self-discipline, just consistency stacking into strength, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Consistency compounds, it builds, it accumulates into something massive, something undeniable, something permanent. But only if you don't break the chain, only if you train, every day, without exception, Stronger body happens slowly, not overnight, not in a week, not in a month, slowly. Through daily training, through progressive overload, through consistent effort, your body adapts, muscles grow, endurance increases, strength builds, but only through daily demand, only through showing up every day. Sharper focus develops gradually, through training your attention, through practicing presence, through removing distractions, through controlling your mind instead of being controlled by it. Focus is a skill, and like all skills, it improves through practice, through daily training, through showing up every day. Unbreakable discipline forms permanently, through daily repetition, through keeping commitments when you don't feel like it, through executing regardless of circumstances. Discipline becomes identity, becomes automatic, becomes who you are, but only through daily training, only through showing up every day. Build daily, not instantly, not through shortcuts, not through hacks, through daily, boring, unsexy work, through showing up when you don't want to. Through training, when training is the last thing you feel like doing. Through consistency over intensity. Through discipline over motivation. Through years of daily work that no one sees. Not instantly means not through a program. Not through a challenge. Not through a transformation event. Through lifestyle. Through identity. Through becoming someone who trains every day. Not someone who did a program. Someone who lives this way, permanently. Wake up, same time, every day. Not when you feel like it, not when you're rested, not when conditions are perfect. Same time, every day. Because consistency starts with waking up. And waking up at the same time trains your body, trains your discipline, trains your commitment. The person you're becoming is decided daily by whether you train or skip, by whether you show up or make excuses, by whether you execute or negotiate. And that person is either someone you respect or someone you don't. Someone you're proud of or someone you're disappointed in. Someone strong or someone weak. You decide every day, through training or skipping. Train every day. No excuses. Not a suggestion. Not advice. A command. A standard. A rule. The rule. The only rule that matters if you want to become strong. If you want to build discipline. If you want to respect yourself. Train every day. No excuses. Comment no excuses if you train even when you don't feel like it.